They thought it was over. The cross had done its work. The body had been taken down, and everything they believed in seemed to have ended. But they were wrong. And what happened next changed everything. The tomb had been sealed, a stone rolled into place, guards stationed outside. No movement, no hope, no expectation of anything more. For those who followed him, this was the end. The one they trusted was gone. The king they believed in had been crucified, and with him, their hope was buried. The night passed, then another. Silence remained, heavy, unanswered. And then, the third day began, early, before the sun had fully risen, before the city had awakened. A few women made their way to the tomb, not expecting life, not expecting a miracle, but to complete what death had interrupted. They carried spices, prepared for burial, because in their minds, he was still dead. But as they approached, something was wrong. The stone was not where it should be. It had been moved. The entrance was open. They stopped, confused, uncertain. Then slowly, they stepped inside. The tomb was empty. Not broken. Not disturbed. Empty. The body was gone. Only the linen cloths remained, left behind, folded, placed. And in that moment, nothing made sense. Until it did. An angel appeared, radiant, unmistakable, not hidden, not subtle. Why seek ye the living among the dead? The question carried the answer. He is not here. He is risen. Not taken. Not stolen. Not lost. Risen, just as he had said. Words they had heard before, but had not understood. Until now. Fear, amazement, uncertainty. They ran. To tell the others, the disciples heard. But they did not immediately believe. It sounded impossible. Too sudden. Too much. Peter ran, faster than the others. Reached the tomb, looked inside, saw the linen cloths, saw the emptiness. But still, understanding had not fully come, because this was not just absence. This was something else. Then, he appeared, not to crowds, not to rulers, but to individuals. To Mary, standing outside the tomb, weeping, grieving. She saw him, but did not recognize him, not at first, until he spoke. Mary, just one word, and everything changed. The voice, she knew. The presence she remembered. The one she had lost, stood before her, alive. Not memory, not illusion, not hope. Reality. He was alive. Then to the disciples, behind closed doors, fearful, hiding, and suddenly, he stood among them, not as a shadow, not as a spirit, but real, present, alive. Peace be unto you. They saw him, heard him, touched him, and what once seemed impossible became undeniable. Doubt turned into belief, fear into courage, silence into proclamation. This was not survival. This was victory. Death had been faced and overcome. The cross was not the end. It was the cost. The tomb was not the conclusion. It was the turning point. Easter is not just a moment, it is meaning. Because if he had remained in the grave, then everything ends there. The story stops. Hope fades, and nothing changes. But he did not remain. And because he did not, everything changes. The sacrifice of Good Friday is now complete. The purpose fulfilled. The promise confirmed. Sin does not have the final word. Death does not have the final authority. The King who was crucified now lives, and the story does not end in silence. It continues, stronger, clearer, certain. The same disciples who hid now step forward, not quietly, not cautiously, but boldly, because they had seen him, and what they saw changed everything. Easter is not just the end of a story, it is the beginning of a new reality, where defeat becomes victory, where loss becomes purpose, where death is no longer the end. The stone was rolled away, not so he could leave, but so they could see. The tomb is empty. The silence is broken. The King is alive, and everything has changed.